bad, yeah. I got back to my room, and I turned on Bill Maher's show, or actually I just turned on the TV, and there he was. And I like Bill Maher. I like the show. I sometimes agree with him, sometimes don't, but I always have that thing where you go, okay, this guy's good, and you have to do that. I mean, you have to go, I hate when people go, I disagree with this guy, he sucks. That's incorrect. Rush Limbaugh's not bad, you disagree with him. He's actually good, you just disagree with him. But don't confuse that with bad.
Put them together, yeah.
Yeah, sushi's not bad. You don't like sushi, but there is such a thing as bad sushi. That'll make you sick. So let's not call this good sushi bad sushi. Let's call you a person that doesn't eat sushi or doesn't like sushi or doesn't like people who eat sushi.
Brilliant.
Thank you. So now I'm hungry.
Now I'm thinking of bad sushi.
Bill Maher, I disagree with, 2/3 of the time, but I love his candor, and he's just, he's great at his job. He's just good at it. And I was watching him. He had his panel on, and I just turned it on, and he had Tavis Smiley next to him, and actually in front of him. And Tavis Smiley's a dick. I mean, he's a fucking jackass. I remember, I don't know, he was on a show once, or someone was a guest on his show, and he talked about, like, Islamic terrorists, and he's like, hey, don't kid yourself. There's killing in the name of Christianity going on in this country every day. And they're not called terrorists. But don't. So I just thought, yeah, Dick, that's why I'm waiting in this huge line at the airport, because there's a bunch of Christians that are out of control, running amok. That's why I'm fucking taking my shoes off, my belt off, pulling my pants out, down and up around my ankles, like, because of the Christian terrorist problem in this country. And they'll point out like Tim McVeigh or something like that. Like, oh yes, I understand, it happens, but we're talking about a bigger problem here. And so he does this bullshit thing that it's sort of a cloaked I hate this country, which is every time someone tries to bring up a problem, and by the way, the only way you can fix a problem is to identify it, call it a problem, admit it's a problem. Whether it's, hair loss, alcoholism, or terrorists, you have to sort of go, okay, it's a problem, and then you have to go after it or do something about it.
Was hair loss and alcoholism directed at Bryan and me?
I did, but I looked at you for hair loss, and I looked at Bryan for alcoholism.
Those are our radio names. We're going morning show. Yeah. Mornings and hair loss and alcoholism.
Yeah.
That's when it is the most pronounced.
Hey, everybody, Backsack and Ass Crackman, they've been moved to drive time. But I want you to meet hair loss and alcoholism.
Hick.
So, sorry. So I'm just thinking, what a dick. I hate this guy. And I know he's like one of these guys. He thinks he's a fucking patriot because he's asking all the right questions and making us think. And isn't that what this country's about? But then I just realized he's just a dick and he hates this country. And at a certain point, Bill Maher gets on this, hey, the terrorists or these countries, they got to start treating their ladies a little better. And guess what?
You said that.
Of course. Oh, Bill and I might share the same brain because it was the same bank account. Because everyone, my whole career has come up and said to me, Bill Maher ripped off your thing on his show again. Like that thing you do with the crows or the whatever. So
he did crows?
No, he did the crows, but whatever he did. And they would tell me that all the time. And I never accused him of stealing it. I just thought, we're kind of wired the same way. But yes, he did a thing that said, these people got to start treating their ladies a little better. And guess what? Tavis had to explain that we don't treat our ladies very well either. Let's listen. And I fucking hate this kind of debating. Let's listen.
And I don't know. We do not know the details of what happened there, but I think it's fair to say Muslim men have a bad attitude about women in general. And I would just like to say to them that you're never going to have this revolution happen unless there is also a sexual revolution that goes with it.
There you go.
Really, Tavis? You have a Muslim men don't have a problem with women?
No, I'm not going to argue that. And let me just say up front, I agree with you.
I was going to cut your head off.
No.
But I was still my friend.
Better my head than what Kevin.
All right.
Talking about a penis that Kevin Smith.
I was going to say that, first of all, that obviously what happened to Lara Logan is reprehensible. Horrific. We can't find a language to describe what happened to her. But having said that, if our democracy, Bill, if our readiness for democracy in this country is based upon, determined by, demonstrated by our respect for women, then we ain't ready for democracy in this country.
Great point. Put on pause for a second. What are they talking about? You fucking nuts. Do you love that? The guy just makes a blanket statement like, hey, Muslim men, stop backhanding your bitches, which they're known for. And if someone's got I disagree, Bill. And let's shine the light on this country. Right. And he's going to go on and make this fucking argument where it's like, even if we're 2% and they're 92%, we're still just as bad. And it's like, no, we're not. Because there's something called stealing a bag of chips, and then there's arson, and then there's murder. Do you know what I mean? There's crimes, there's degrees. It's all over the place.
I feel like that was just blatant lady ass kissing on Tavis Smiley's part.
Yeah.
That said, very effective.
Very effective. Yeah.
I love that said.
Yeah.
Now, be that as it may.
That's it. There. That's it.
That being said.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep it rolling. Let's see how this goes.
Serious? You think this country, the men in this country, have an attitude that even comes close to what...
I'm suggesting to you, if you think that the way we treat women in this country, with patriarchy still alive and well, sexism still alive and well, is determinative or demonstrative of how well our democracy works.
Move over, Don King.
You don't understand how maltreated women are still then in this society.
Blacks can make up their own language. All right, hold on a second. He's telling us to wake up and smell the coffee. What's going on in this country? Really? By the way, Tavis, amongst a couple of guys you grew up with, perhaps, but this nation as a general? No. And stop doing that bullshit. It's that same fucking thing that comes along every year with Martin Luther King Day or whatever. It's like, hey, we've come a long way, but do not kid yourself. We got a long, long way to go. No, you don't. You got a little way to go. Not that far. And most of it's on you. It's not. We got a long bullshit. Compared to who? Compared to what other nation? It's the same bullshit.
That said,
we got a long way to go.
That said, but still. Also, Tavis Smiley looks nothing like what I expected. And I don't know what I expected, but I just know that name, and then I was like, that's who goes with that name?
Not smiling nearly enough.
No, he's pointing out how poorly we treat our bitches. Well, he
looks nothing like Guy Smiley on Sesame Street.
I remember when your dad came backstage. We're in the green room after the show. He was informing me for the first time that I was funny.
He actually said you're amazing, but I think it's interesting that you remember what he said is you're funny.
He was great. No, I thought it was great because I saw that he meant it. But then I remember your mom piped up and your dad just backhanded her. Just right there. She held her head that direction, which meant she knew it was coming.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And that was in front of me, so I don't know what...
The minute he lifted his hand, she flinched.
Yeah.
And after all the years that he's been beating her, you'd think that she would get over the flinch, but you don't really get over it.
You don't. No.
I mean, I know that.
It's like when you try to get rid of your gag reflex. You just can't do it.
I can power through.
Yes, and.
But no, every now and then it comes up.
I mean, but yeah.
That said,
arousing.
But still.
Your dad in the pinstripe suit just fucking open a can of whoop ass on your mom almost every night.
It goes with the suit.
Yeah, it's like the movie Casino.
You have to if you're going to wear a suit like
that.
Only
when he puts the suit on.
Let's hear the rest of Tavis's awesome argument.
You have no perspective.
I'm saying you have no perspective.
No. Go ahead.
If you look at the history of the United States, I would say that actually democracy leads to better attitudes toward women because when the United States was founded, of course, women couldn't vote.
Right.
African Americans couldn't vote, and we got there eventually. So I think you've got it reversed.
No, I don't.
By the way, people are arguing with Bill on this point.
In Egypt, women, if you want to divorce your husband, you have to go to court. If a man wants to divorce his wife, he just has to say that, what they call the triple talaq or something. I divorce thee, I divorce thee, I divorce thee. That must happen like on the first fight. It must be so...
I've been trying to have 12 years of marriage.
Right,
don't work, man. Don't work.
In Saudi Arabia, women cannot drive a car, sail a boat, fly a plane, which is why their tampon ads are just horseback riding.
Tav's got to jump in. Bill, that's it at the end of the day.
People have a right to self-determination. Are you saying that they shouldn't have... How does a continuation of strongman rule lead to better attitudes toward women?
Why is this cunt arguing with Bill on this point?
Because she's got a mouth.
Right.
The women are sort of already there.
Something.
You have to bring along the men, and I know this is anecdotal, but, talk to women who've ever dated an Arab man. The reviews are not good.
Thank you.
They have a sense of entitlement.
You must understand, my friend.
We put women on a pedestal.
Sounds like Jim Hill.
He didn't even say anything controversial. That's what's killing me.
Every man I've ever dated has a sense of entitlement. I don't know.
Have you ever dated?
Stop it for a second. Bitch, why are you backing this? He made a statement that every human being that's been on this planet more than 6 months, I think, understands basically that the Arab dudes need to treat the women just a little bit better. It's not that anecdotal. It's on the books.
You haven't walked in their shoes.
Yeah, I know.
Who are you to judge? They come from an entirely different.
She was doing the thing that she's super liberal and he's super black, and he's making a point about this country being crappy or as crappy as another nation. And anytime you're really liberal and someone's making the case that this country's kind of crappy, or don't judge these other nations, because it's that sort of thing where you go. Somebody goes, hey, man, we got to do something in Mexico with all these drug wars going on. And then some other guy goes, yeah, who do you think's buying those drugs? That's right, the rich kids in Orange County. And that's what's fueling it. And then you got to jump in. Somehow everything's a mirror that just deflects. It's a fucking handball court where everything just gets bounced right back at you. And so she's confused because on one hand, he's saying, treat the bitches better. And the cunt's got a cunt. So she's like, that's me. But on the other hand, it's coming from the mouth of a black guy, and he's talking about how crappy this country is. So I do want to kind of side with him.
But she's doing the thing people do in arguments, which is she's digging in on principle. Like she's...
on nothing.
She's just holding her position and dig her heels in.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Tavis really goes over the fucking edge here. Let's listen to this.